All right. So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to the double secret Blarney Werewolf game set to the Red Branch, where Maeve, our resident Babby Thayerge, is off on the hunt. She's had her awesome morning, which actually went pretty well. Went pretty good. Angela wasn't even as grumpy as she expected. Giving her some morning may have been the way to go. So, noted. But she has had her awesome morning and breakfast with friends, and has been officially declared Sister Maeve. But has gone about her duties for the better part of the day, scampering around, doing the best she can to pull her share, whether it's taking a guard shift or running around doing some keepery stuff, just kind of picking up everywhere she can find a spot to do it. But sooner or later, she will have made her sensible contribution. Surely she can overachieve later. And we'll head off up the farmer's path, I suppose, towards towards wherever the tail singer may be. I want to say that's off where he is. Off to his little hut and his chicken coop.
Yep, you can hear the chickens clucking, doing all their shit.
Doing chicken stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bopping around and all that.
So she will
And
head over.
Well, you can see him. He eventually, you can see somebody moving in and out of the hut.
Afternoon, she's, getting within range.
Yeah, it does a little slow turnaround, like, oh, kind of rubs his curly hair. Oh, hello there.
Can I help with whatever you're... because he's been in and out, in and out.
No, you only scare him away.
Oh. Okay. Like, there's a bit of a puzzled look, but okay. Is this a bad time?
Oh, no. What's wrong? What's wrong with you? What's wrong? Oh.
Nothing. Like, the hands come up. Nope, nothing's wrong. I actually just... I've been looking for a story, and I found the book. She actually produces the book. I imagine it's a very heavily illustrated, essentially children's book. One that's actually just the one legend. So it does have illustrations, which, again, threw her off because they don't look right. She can't put her finger on it, but they don't look right. But she holds up the book, and I've heard it from others, and I think I've even seen parts of it, but what's written, in here and what I've been told are a little different. And I was curious which version of the story you had learned, or if you knew which was the older.
I don't trust books, particularly when they're talking about mythology. It's always the mundanities,
It's a little lot of understanding.
Mundanities always ruin everything, so I go with the old oral story. Plonks himself down.
And she'll come over and look to find a spot where it's... she's trying to do that student sit, find a place to plunk herself down to listen respectfully. I just I hadn't heard it before. Could I hear it as you know it?
Why is it so important to you? Kind of gives us a tilt of the head.
I don't know for sure that it is, but it keeps coming up.
It's one of the most talked about stories.
A spirit showed me memories, very old ones, and there was a lot more than I could make out, but parts of it. She
Be
puts the hand on the
be
cover.
Careful getting hold up now, Missy. Kind of, he finally gives like the first glance, kind of like a little bit of annoying, like, oh, that. You don't trust spirits with stories. Rule number 1. Particularly stories of long ago.
That's why I wanted to ask you.
Why? But why is it so important to you that you're learning about these people? These things. Why is that important? That's what I'm asking. This is the entire point.
If it's as real as I think it is, it's our history, isn't it?
In a way, some of it is. Not so much the Gaian thing, but definitely the Druidic way, which is, again, time before time.
I mean, isn't this the best way to learn about things that came before time, when you can't trust books to be accurate, when even the spirits remember things the way they see them instead of necessarily the whole story?
You see, Lassie, this is the point. In a way, this is... Some of us put across that this is how the human world represented that with the Christ, their connotation for that. And then it's the symbol of the end of the old way. Whereas you see among the Fianna, and we all cling to the old ways of the tribe, and some see that as a symbol of the tribe's failing. The children of Lear are, in a way, a representation of the failings of the tribe, cursed and dark as they may be, you see. So it has a mixed blessing. Whereas for the humans, it's a representative of moving away from a pagan world. It's for us is a representation of the loss of the truly old way. And the price many tribes paid for that. Us, the God of Fenris, the ones that delved down into the labyrinth and never came back. So to listen to memories of things, while beautiful, you need to be careful. Because those memories are usually born from those person's eyes, those person's things. A spirit is never just neutral. It feeds off the energy. I'm sure as a theurge you know that.
She, attentively, nods. She does. I didn't know all the connotations, to be honest.
That's the dangers of it, you see. In a world before world. Imagine it, being there at the time. A time before the weaver's webs filled the cities. The worm had still gone mad, yes, but imagine it. And imagine the sorrow you felt when you realized you're failing, much like Lear probably felt with his. There are many different things out there, Maeve. Many things that are older than even us, or as old as our traditions. The Tua, some of them were like us, and some of them were far different entities, Maeve.
She's, again, at least it's clear that, she may have come and interrupted his day, but she's thinking about what he's saying. And obviously applying it to the things that she's read over the years.
That's the danger of it all. The danger of the whole thing.
Because it's something as old as we are?
No, they're not like us. We worship the gods and all that. We honor them as spirits of Gaia, and in many cases they are. Do you know what I'm saying?
Nodding.
But for some of them, they believed that they were that. Gods, you know? And to the everyday folk with their capabilities and powers, well, think about it.
You might as well be.
So the danger you may face is that some of these things have faded away from the world, but that doesn't mean they're gone. It just means they've retreated below the earth to the other world. Even the Morrigan was an element of the Didanan. And that's the thing, some of them are Gaian and some of them are not. Gaia is of the earth. The whole thing. That's the beauty of it.
Oh, yeah, she's nodding again and probably honestly just kind of sat cross-legged anywhere that was dry enough to plop down and is idly just running the hand over the cover. It's an idle motion. It's not a thoughtful one, but she's glancing down at it, thinking about, I mean, it is a tragic story, but thinking about how it could reflect from the tribe's eyes. Is shouldn't these things still be learned and understood in case we do
Of
ever see
course.
them again?
That's the thing. Do we want to see them again, Maeve? Would you, with their understanding of the world as to how it is now? The world right now is in conflict. And that is what we should be seeking to balance, as well as that free. That is the nature of the triad, Maeve. We need order, we need chaos, and we need the earth to all work into balance.
We do. Like just nodding, like, okay. It's true. It seems impossibly huge, but it's true.
And sometimes seeking to restore things without proper, well, yes, we may understand them, but some things, and sometimes, it's to better let the dead lay in the other world and not bring back things that we had buried long ago with a reason. Other times it is good to restore the lost things of the world. Other times it is not. They were lost for a reason.
I don't know that I ever really thought to. I don't know that you can restore this, but if it kept coming up, if it kept meaning something, I thought it would be important to know the real story so that I knew whether what I was looking at was really what happened or it was changed or.
See, you're trying to look at it through the mundane eyes. As a human. That's the first thing you need to get rid of.
She chews her lip on that, but finally, just kind of decisively takes the book and opens her swag and just slides it in.
There was
her arms in her lap.
There was a High King named Lair. Although he was not elected, Boab Drag was. And in a way, because of that, his daughter Eve, or Aoife, as the modern day is what it's called, was appeased to him. Now Lear had many different children. Beautiful children. 4 of them. With Aoife alone. Eve, Fionnuala, Ov, Fiacra, Kun, the twins. When they died, Lear fell into a deep grief. And much like the story there was a marriage. A nice one, a healthy one. One born of beauty and honesty. And over time, grief turns to jealousy. Affection is misaligned. And Lear never truly, he pauses for a sec, never truly wanted Aoife. Aoife was his one love. And what's hilarious is Aed, Lear's son, well, he became the prince and god of the underworld. So when you think about it, Maeve, it's an often fate of such a family to be cursed by their own power.
I'm not gonna lie, he got a kind of befuddled look over that one because, like, oh, Jesus. Go figure. That part isn't in the book.
The underworld is not a dark place as many think it is sometimes, depending on what you do, a guiding place. The homelands for us are the same. All depends on your viewpoint, but for jealousy and this, imagine that jealousy that's born from grief. It is what Aoife did. Bathed them in the waters of the lake and they were swans. Fionnuala was. Over the fact that she could not love. And then Fionnuala, Una, they lived on. Now some say that they lived on to sing to the world. Some say they lived for 300 years. Some say they were separated for centuries before they reached each other. Who knows? There's different things. But what I know is that they called every day for Lear. And even when he went back to the other world, he never came. Maddened in his grief, they say. He disappeared. Some say he died. Some say he just vanished. Unable to process the betrayal that had been done to him. And they died alone, bound in silver chains. But some say it was the Christians who, of course, cleansed them. No. That's the mortal. Do you know who cleansed them and set them free? When I was told, at least. Painted warriors of Woad, who freed them from the silver chains and cleansed them. 3 old men and an old woman. They were already old when they changed afterwards.
Sorry, I blew my nose at an inopportune moment. Who changed afterwards?
The 3 children.
Okay.
So, Clan Lear, the family of Lear, I suppose in a way we're always meant to be cursed in a way. Always doomed to hate each other and curse each other. For in the world that is not us, and you can live, from what I hear of the Fae, for centuries, Imagine the madness that must take you. And that is how the worm spreads even among them.
It has her thinking, kind of throwing things into different perspectives. Like you can tell, she's kind of wrestling to be like, okay, so if you shift the perspective, you shift the parameters on how you'd have learned a story before.
What that spirit probably showed you was the sorrow that Lear probably had. For such sorrow, I imagine, scars the land deeply. Look at the Barrows. They say if you go to the Barrows, you can still hear the screams of the White Howler kin that told the Fianna of their fate.
That just not doubtful, but that little side look of like, really?
Oh, so they say. Smiling. It's that kind of weird story. Ooh. You know what I mean?
I don't know if it's just a story. You might be fucking with me. You might not. That might be a thing. Like, you can tell there's a suspension of disbelief taking place here that's super real.
Must, like I said, Maeve, you weren't born in the land as old as this. You were born in the land that has no deep history, no deep scars, deep tales to their name that whisper on the hills. You just have to listen to it. And everything else will show you differently. And stop thinking like a human. And think like a Fianna, a Guru. Because you're not human. You never were.
There's a chastened nod.
What's Maeve doing?
She's doing a lot of thinking and processing, and it's essentially she's taken a handful of puzzle pieces and trying to click them together in ways that make sense. Because let's face it, her perspective is the one she would have learned in New York, and like you said, a much younger land. There's not nearly as much to pick up. There's not that ambient history and age, so it is, man, it's a lot. And it's funny because no matter how much Maeve may tell herself here and there that she wants to go back, she simultaneously regrets that she feels kind of like she's learning things she should have learned ages ago. And she hates being behind the curve. She's not a fan. He said in the Barrows.
Barrow Glen. Or just hangs out mainly. Yeah.
And I guess I should go practice listening.
Nods his head.
Thank you, Ryan.
No problem.
Time.
No problem at all. Stands back up. Walks back inside, nose ripped, jeans, his big little cap, and walks back in, whistling.
Yeah, she'll pull herself up. I admit, there's like a curious glance after him. She's not gonna like go snoop, but just that curious, like, what even is he doing? But
I close the door, unfortunately, before you see, so you don't get to
Aw.
learn what Big Papa Pump is doing.
No spoilers for me.
No.
There's like a curious glance, but she'll get up and she's got a little bit of daylight left.
Yes. Where you
Yeah, why
going?
not? She'll head over towards the Barrow Glen.
All right. What you doing over there?
If nothing else, she'll initially like probably get into like that area even and take a pause off at the kind of perimeter, a glance around, and then probably a glance into the Umbra.
That's what it looks like.
Oh. Oh.
Yes.
On which side?
Umbra.
Yep.
Oh, bright. That's a Lunic spirit. It reflects off the symbols on the ground.
Oh. That side it is. Besides, she's more likely to hear whispers on that side if she's going to hear anything. So she'll take her
Yeah.
time. Again, off at the edge to slide over.
Mm-hmm.
And once
When-
she's over there and her glowy self, we'll take another look around and make sure she's not. She knows the weird hangout here. She doesn't want to just fucking bumblefuck right into the middle of them doing something.
On the weird there, yeah, you can see them off in the distance, probably at the top part of the hill. You can recognize just as fucking Hearn the Hunter Spirit Heritage Man. He looks terrifying in the fucking Umbra.
No, Magic Dad. Yeah, she'll
And
start to
can see-
wander down.
You can see Blackbriar as well sitting beside him, you know. Looks like he's with his Earth Spirit Heritage, he is literally like, it just looks like he's part of the ridge line.
That's awesome. No, she will start picking her way down. She's not running pell-mell in, and she figures it this way. If she can see them, if they really want to, they can see her, and they can tell her to back off of things if they need to.
Like I said, Justice looks eerie because he's got the skull mask, and it just, do you know what I mean?
It's so much bigger and more imposing in the Umbra. Holy
Mhm.
shit.
Yep. Fucking creepy.
Yeah. She'll wander down looking for maybe a place where the wind is cutting between the two, or I'm not gonna lie, she'll probably wander close to the first one just because she wants to see what's making the effect.
That's nothing that's making the
Hello?
effect. The gold's gloom spirits. It looks like they are constantly intertwining, not down in a spiral going down. It's almost as if they're forming into the tri-spiral, deforming, celebrating, humming. Do you know what I mean? It looks like whatever is going on, it looks to be a sort of a ritual. I wouldn't say like it's like, it just seems to be sort of a thing. You know what I mean? Like a little, whatever Drust and Blackbriar have done, it seems to be just an annual little thing that they do come spring.
I mean, it can be ritualistic without being a rite that she knows and understands. So, no, she will carefully not intrude on, like, even the furthest ring of the stones because she doesn't want to upset whatever it is. She wants to see, doesn't want to upset it. But she'll look for, wander between the two and look for a spot on the ridge where the wind, she can feel it catching or hear it humming past rocks, or looking for a promising spot.
Yeah, that's the creepy part of it. Maybe the wind howls over the glen, and it does sound like the howls of wolves in mourning. In some ways, the way you hear it, kind of twist your head.
I mean, she's looking for it, so yeah, she will. She'll find one of the spots where it echoes right past her fucking dome and tip her head and listen. Hell, after a couple minutes, she might even fall into lupus just to see if she can hear anything different.
You do, and it's just a howling of wind. You can see just an absolute like howl. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she'll plant her dog butt for a hot minute and just think, because this is one of those things where kind of superstition and story overlay with reality in a way that you could say it's just the wind. You could absolutely say it's just the wind. But the real question is, was the wind here first and the story grew out of it?
That's the question, isn't it?
It is. And it's got her thinking. Because the stories are older here. They're way older. That story alone is ancient.
But definitely what you hear is in the morning. Such morning.
You know what? I'm going to say it's kind of an unconscious thing. You know when dogs don't necessarily howl, but they kind of make a nasal noise? They keep it inside their skull, but, they just kind of make a nasal response. She probably does at some point while she's sitting there. She's not going to pitch her fucking scream to the wind, but it's almost just the unconscious desire to sympathize with the pain, even if it's from centuries ago.
Yeah, you get an odd look from Justin's fucking Blackbriar, who kind of just tilt their head over and look at you.
Yeah, there's the glance and then kind of the sheepish duck of the head. She stops doing it, but
like, I'm
not. I'm just gonna take my baby steps over here. Yeah, it's the sheepish thing, the little bit of the tuck, and I'm just gonna.
It's that look of you fucking around in my barrel, Glenn. Do you know what I mean? But no, they just kind of fucking stare at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she'll even go to a couple different points and just sit and listen for a solid while each, just to see if the way that things sound, the stories that they might be born from, them. She's kind of fudgy on which change if different events are in a way chronicled. She's just trying to get a feel for it all.
I'm gonna say it's kind of asking a lot to kind of just judge it based on the wind sound. You hear one or two things, but again, the Umbra is a fickle thing, so you kind of hear one or two and then it just fades away again.
Yeah. Admittedly, it's not like she knows exactly what she's looking for. The chances are she's not going to find a lot in her first sitting here. But still, it's one of those things where, she's being a little bit of a weirdo, but the urge. But yeah, they can see she's just sitting and listening and thinking and just kind of splaying her toes in the dirt and trying to get a feel.
Yeah, no, they're not going to interrupt you. They're doing their own shit. So they kind of just watch you and you kind of just sit there in a bit of peace.
It is very strange, but it's weirdly reassuring. It's nice to feel like she's actually listening and seeing things that she wouldn't have before, even if she's not sure how real they are.
I could give you some of the spirits around the Barglen are old. Some of the moon spirits are old. You can just tell by the weight of them. The way they move. Old as fuck.
Yep. Sadly, she will not interrupt the loon spirits. They're doing a thing. They're doing a thing, and she's not sure.
You can tell it's getting close to a full moon, and they seem to be more excited. That's the vibe you're getting. And Drust and Blackbriar are like where they're indulging it. They're feeding them gnosis. Do you know what I mean? Maybe in a way they're trying to calm things. Don't know.
Oh.
Yes, because it's a full moon.
Yeah, better to calm things like that. But she will at least spend the time because she wants to indulge and understand the stories. But sooner or later, it will be time to go and collect the Angela. She does.
You
She
do.
basically just indulges as much time there as she can, and then scampers off.
Yeah, you collect that, Angela.
Yeah, this is the whole thing of like popping her head in, being like, "Hey, you ready?"
Yeah, she's wrapped up pretty warm. She just gives a nod, inclining the old head. Yeah, ready.
All right, then let's catch a ride to Brooks Fest and go from there.
All right. You do. You catch a quick ride from any self-respecting kinfolk.
And let's face it, especially in the evenings, even the guru are going back and forth, so shouldn't be too hard to find someone who's about to head out and be like, "Hey, can we take your back seat?"
They do. They give you a little bit of, like, so one or two of them give you a little bit of look like, do you know what I mean? It's that type of shit. It's like, I'm already busy, but yeah, one or two that can indulge you. They're not going to not.
No, she tries to at least be grateful for what it's worth, but yeah. Once they get there and hop out, it's offering Angela the hand, and at least this place she knows how to get to pretty solidly. So
Oh yeah, you guys are walking, and that is what the O'Brien's Tower looks like at the night. So it's nice. Got this. It's still, for Maeve, it's always got that eerie vibe to it.
it does.
And outside, you will see this lady waiting.
Yep, there's the wave as they're headed up. Little one pick their way up the steps.
Yeah, just nod and open the door, and you're inside. It's like a small little room. You can tell this is probably where the alphas meet.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on the bright side, that means there's plenty of room to sit, be seen, and heard.
It's a long table. Plenty of chairs, all that.
Spiffy. Yeah, Maeve will go on in and find a place, she and Angela can sit relatively close to each other and let Fiona kind of pick her spot as she do when she's closed the door.
Yeah, Fiona just plonk herself down. Waits for you guys.
Yeah. She'll, regardless of everything else, even sat, it's like the subtle handhold under the table type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you want to do this?
Well, why don't you go over what happened? She leans back very casually.
She'll nod and give Angela a glance. I guess fill in any parts I've forgotten.
Angela, I know you go over it. I'm not gonna make it repeat the whole thing, but Angela goes over much a similar thing to you did. You know what I mean? The only key difference is she mentions she got a better sight of him when he was in the room. That one, when you all hid in the cupboard, she got a better view of him than you did. But in terms of the assassination, she didn't see much. You saw more than she. You know what I mean? It's little differences essentially, but it's more or less the same thing.
Mm-hmm. No, we'll go over the whole thing bit by bit and sub in details for each other.
It's pretty much what happens, really. I'm not gonna specifically go into massive amounts of details in that regard. The only thing is Angela gets a bit tense about the killing bit. You can see it. She do you know what I mean? She kind of catches her breath a few times.
Yeah. And there will be pauses to give her a second, or if she is talking and starts kind of puttering on the narrative, to take a second, maybe we'll pick it up. No, just draw the attention off. Give her a second to recoup and Keeps a careful eye in case she gets to a certain point.
Fiona's very gentle. She questions everything with a gentle tone. It's, and eventually, Angela's kind of there. She's that out of breath, and she's like, Angela, why don't you, I know there's another room where there is some spare drinks that they leave behind for others when the kinfolk arrive. Do you mind getting me and Maeve some? Angela just gives a nod, that kind of little relieved. Do you know what I mean? Gives Maeve's hand a little squeeze. It's like, oh, I get to leave the room because the guru are going to talk about some shit. I can tell. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Returns the squeeze and totally lets her do it. And is, if anything, kind of relieved that she looks relieved because, good. You're secure enough that you don't feel like you need to stand right beside me to be safe. Good.
I mean, the door is literally right there. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And, she's not far away. So she will go, and you can see she closes it. Fiona just kind of leans back in the seat. It's like she's waiting for you to say something first.
Yeah, it's tense for a second as she just kind of isn't sure what to say. I hope you can see why we were close mouthed about the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. And now Sean knows.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a guilty nod.
Which means he has the potential to be compromised.
Another, yeah, kind of guilty, if anything, nod because admittedly at the time she wasn't thinking that.
And have you told anyone else? Or has Sean told anyone else? This is very important.
I haven't.
You need to find out if he has.
You know what? Just because I can right now, she will reach through the link because it's a lot easier than doing many separate conversations. 1 second. Yeah, there's a bit of a pause. And I mean it's the distant look. Fiona knows what the fuck she's doing, and she finally blinks back into the here and now. No. Nobody.
Good.
And he understands that it's important we keep it that
I'm
way.
sure he understands, but Sean is a terrible liar. And this is incredibly dangerous.
Yeah.
She says it with just this, not like she's like, it again, it's not cold, it's very just matter of fact. Do you know what I mean? Both yours, now mine, Angela's and Sean's, are very much at risk now. You have unwittingly and unintentionally involved yourself in a great game.
It's a bit of a tip of the head. Just a tiny, inquisitive little tip. Just, are you not telling Albert?
I will consider the matter.
Just a nod.
But you have involved yourself in business that is inherently belonging to the Children of Falcon. It adds a great weight of secrecy to the whole thing. Generally, when we hunt the austere howl, we do it in the shadows, for that is how they operate. But this madness that is going on, it has changed a lot of strategies.
If they're so used to working in the shadows like that, why would he leave her there?
I'm going to put this very simply before your kinfolk comes back. Currently, as of this moment, there is about to be a conflict in the Sept of the Green. Because the heir of the Osterhow line has declared herself known to the public and is rallying. The Sept of the Green has declared her support along with an army. The Gleaming Eye are retaliating. But yet, why would you leave a body in the Fianna Sept known to support House Gleaming Eye? When the Fianna have remained neutral in this conflict?
Unless someone had the conflict or the context, it's a way to shake them.
It is called Chaos, Maeve. The Macnessa support House Gleaming Eye and have been sturgeon supporters of them. The MacTaiggs, however, while Rory MacTaigg and Cahill will follow the line, many others are eager to establish themselves. If you get my meaning, they are chomping at the bit. Even your girlfriend's family, numerous as they are, have got a great weight to pull.
Do the other families not support the Gleaming Eye as stringently as Macnessa?
Not as much. Some are just looking for political opportunity, political promise, Maeve. It is not merely about that. Osterhow, in their bid for survival, will use any and other means. They will never fully reveal themselves, for if they do, the name is tainted, hence the confusion over the current Ophelia Campbell. But I'm beginning to realize elements of this. That, what you described as, this is not done. Not by a long shot, Maeve.
No.
There is, since you are involved, and now this is where things get tense and serious for you, should you tell anyone else without my permission. And she adds that permission, that with that coldness about her. You know what I mean? I will take it that you are working with them.
Yeah, there's that little glint of like, oh, but a nod of understanding.
These secrets will never leave their rooms. If I am to believe what is going on, that is a member of what is called the faction of Osterhow that has been primarily responsible for the continuous survival of the house. His corrupted line is the Red Osprey.
What is the Red Osprey do?
Their function is simple: to preserve the legacy of Osterhow and to discredit the persecutors that have chased them, in their view, as worm-tainted as it is. But make no mistake, Maeve. That line of Silverfangs has been found with Wormer's corruption in them. Hence why we hunt them so viciously. They are, whether willing or no, agents of the worm in their actions. And she says this, Maeve, with absolute certainty. That is the key bit.
Yeah?
Because, let's be real, Maeve, for a split second, from what Maeve has seen, they murdered a kinfolk in cold blood. Didn't even blink an eye. Currently there are, from what you've heard from there's conspiracy. They are currently maybe behind what's going on back in America. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very, when you think about it, It's ultimately it is kind of serving the worm, really.
It is one of those uncomfortable moments where her perspective is shifting whether she really wants it to or not, because once more context comes in, you have to reevaluate your stance.
Mm-hmm. Now, the assassination of Francesca was not something that they do on impulse. Did he sound impulsive as he did this?
No, not at all.
Then that is something to consider. This was planned. Now, what have you seen in the aftermath of her death? She leans back, like assessing to see it. It's almost like you're being assessed now, Maeve.
Okay, so she'll take it properly seriously and not spare. There's been a lot of doubt that was thrown on the Magnessa family because the kinfolk died in their home, even with so many present. Um, some of the McTykes have traveled here, and one of them is pushing hard.
Hmm.
I don't know
Good.
that she's the only one, but I know that she's pushing hard to try to see if there's more, to see if she can get more ammunition to discredit the family.
Very good.
Yeah, there's more mulling over what she's seen, not seen. And of course, the family is pushing that much harder to prove their stance and their place with the travelers being attacked. They're kind of been working overtime.
Opportunistic, yes. No evidence as of yet of in league, but it certainly is a coincidence, wouldn't you say?
It just seemed to really stand out. It was
Do you know that I will clue you what I have seen? Because that is good. I was not aware of the ferocity at which the MacTiger are pushing. Do you know among the kinfolk of the Silver Fangs that Oleg Schillig is so far currently? I will put it like this. I am not suspicious of what he is doing as an activity. It is the method.
what do you mean?
Well, he has begun measuring, questioning, bringing forth ideas of legitimacy of various noble families. It's all part and parcel of, say, for example, with Oisin MacTaig. Everybody knows he's not Rory's son, but yet he's been bolstered, if you get what I'm saying.
It's a nod.
Certain people are being pushed with deeds that they have not quite been given. Now, of course, Tiny Fianna, this is good encouragement, but when you begin to add layers to it, for example, I have heard him being one of the people that has questioned Daniel's mental competency.
The brown knits a little bit.
Now he's a kinfolk, but you and his daughter Vera has not said anything, but others have slowly began to do the same. If you get what I'm saying, it is all about the words spoken.
Introducing doubt.
Yes. Now he could be perfectly innocent of this charge, she says with a smile. But it is coincidental. People are noticing things. I am at least. I'm noticing certain patterns of behavior.
And you know what? Just because I know Fiona was there the day it happened, maybe we'll take a moment, like as the kind of gap in conversation provides the opportunity to explain why she's saying they're pushing so hard. What Eve was doing when Daniel was in, was already in this state because of the death, was in this state because of
Yep.
like physically because he'd fought with Rattling Nettle, so he was already on the back foot.
Yep.
And the fact that he was pursuing it so hard, which is something that probably wouldn't have stood out, except that, especially with a Galliard who's already off center, like that could have been more than just yelling. Could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, exactly.
So she will highlight the whole thing, so Fiona has the full grasp and doesn't just think she's drawing conclusions.
Listen, no, Fiona understands. Yeah, she gets it. She listens and takes it all in. The next thing I've noticed is that certain disruptions have been going on with the Wild Lords and our pack in Cirque Anima. I've noticed that certain deals never seem to follow through fully. Alliances always seem at the edge of starting and then fade. Or certain things are. That is what concerns me. Which tells me that somebody is making sure that certain things don't come to pass and certain things do. And this is the darkest part of all this, Maeve. They're using the kin.
Do you think they really know what they're being used to do, or are they just being
Most of these kinfolk have grown up in the nation and would have a guru that they possibly were told to influence behind them, if you get what I'm saying. You start with the chain, the voice in the ear, and well, what self-respecting Fianna does not listen to their kinfolk? She kind of gives Maeve that stare, that, come on, you know what I mean? If that young girl over there whispered and told you things, would you not heed her? Would you not trust her?
Of course.
And she kind of, does the little splayed hands. It starts with a whisper, Maeve. So we need to know the pawns on the board before we find the falcon.
She weighs back and forth. Do you think he's staying near here, or just?
I think he is. I think a member of them is here, somewhere. This is the point, Maeve, that you're not getting. This is not one singular individual.
No, I understand. It's just all of the whispers, all of that would lead back to that person, wouldn't they?
Precisely. That's what she kind of gives the finally. Do you know what I mean? You're on Macfield and you don't know politics. She's just smiling.
You can tell it's at least a touch frustrated. The hands splay for a second before clapping, soundlessly together, like kind of coming together. I grew up outside the courts, Fiona, and even in Up to the Green, I was one more cup. They didn't really involve me in anything. Nothing like that.
I see. I'm not gonna lie, Maeve. That you can peony it. That look on Fiona's face.
Oh, she's getting ready to hurt my own feelings. It's 3.
Fiona's like, I have Sean. I have who is. Do you know what I mean? It is. You could literally see her analyzing. I have Sean, who cannot lie to save his life. I have you, who has no experience of any of this, and I have Angela, who is a firebrand. Oh fuck me! Do you know what I mean? It's literally that I am. Oh.
She sees it, and there's, after that little pause after she said her bit, it's just, I do want to learn.
Well, that is something at least. I will put this into perspective, Maeve. There are secrets that the nobility will always keep. But this is, for all intents and purposes, a conspiracy. Now, if we can catch them in the act, we may have legitimacy to bring this to the full attention, shedding a light on it. However, we cannot catch them if we do not have A, evidence, B, members involved, and C, the culprit possibly themselves.
Yeah, there's thoughtful lip chewing. Because she's going back even over their own story and just trying to find any.
How did he get in?
But it's the big ones are, how did he get in and out? And what was he looking for? Because he was looking, like, not deep searching, tearing the place apart, but he was looking for something.
Well, Maeve, that is where you will need to start. How did he get in? How did he leave? And what did he look for?
Yeah, she's still lip chewing. I'm trying to remember which walls were which. Because she already figured he couldn't have come in on certain sides of the sept.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, she'll sit there and be like, I know he couldn't have come in on the east side.
We'll need more evidence than speculating, Maeve.
No,
Says very flatly.
I know. I'm just trying to narrow it down. Because if I know where to look, I can find something that's better than speculation, right?
Maybe start of what he was actually looking for in the place that you hid from him.
So I should go visit the Master of Challenge. Maybe see if there's something that...
Maybe get a chance to get into that room yourself.
It's a nod. It's thoughtful, but a nod.
She just stares at you very coldly, very incessantly.
Let me trying to decide whether it'd be a willpower roll or there's something else I should roll.
What are you trying to do?
Determine the value of. Way here saw something.
Hmm?
And Maeve doesn't know what, because Gway here, probably very accurately, knows damn well that Maeve doesn't know what she's getting into
Mm-hmm.
and would not give it to her. But she might give it to Fiona. And again, oh, the way Fiona might get it. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
There's one more thing. I think Gway here saw something and was just smart enough not to tell me. She's a Theurge. I asked her if she had seen something in the Umbra. Asked her if she'd ever seen an Osprey spirit near the Sept. And she got very closed mouth very quickly. But I'm sure that she has the sense to tell you whatever she saw.
Mm-hmm. You want me to go and wrangle the metas?
Not wrangle. I feel that if the right person asks, she will tell you. I don't even blame her for not telling me. I
That is
obviously
why
didn't
it has to
understand.
be you, Maeve. She could, stares at you quite plainly. Because they would suspect I am looking for something. But not you. You want to be involved? Now it is time to use your greatest asset in politics and secret gathering. Your naivety.
Is it not? If she starts to kind of piece together, oh, I see. Because if they know she saw, they'd expect you to come asking. But me asking doesn't look odd at all. It
Suspicious,
just looks
yeah.
like I'm nosy.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like I'm a nosy baby Theurge. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can see that the fucking things are falling into place. And again, just that nod of, oh, okay. No, that makes sense. All right.
I would recommend getting access to the Master of Challenges' room. Use your kinfolk. Use Sean, but for Gaia's sake. Do not draw any undue attention on yourselves.
I should be able to.
Good. There will be things I can assist you with and things that I can't. I will be doing my own searches and queries, as will Clara, as she is Gleaming Eye kin. This is what we train for, even the kinfolk.
It's just a, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, Maeve, you've heard about the Gleaming Eye. They devote themselves to this shit. This is their bread and butter. Rooting out heresy. Silverfern.
Yep. It's, again, a lot of thinking because she's trying to think if I ever really seen Clara and Eve together. Not because she suspects Clara, just because is that a viable tactic even? Like, it probably is, and Fiona's probably ahead of the ball on it, but
Clara is a very clever little girl. She might even go to Eve herself.
exactly. It's like, oh,
So, who knows? Who knows? That's the scary thing about Fiona and Clara. Who knows what they'll do? Especially Fiona's more direct. Clara, you've seen how Clara moves. That girl is, oof, ooh. Hey Maeve, you know who she might get to do it?
Who?
Seamus.
Oh.
I mean, you've been seeing that she's been cozying up.
Yep. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's putting together like chains of influence, and it's just kind of blowing her fucking mind in real time.
Yeah. Yeah.
The crazy idea that Seamus could end up working on this without having any idea what he's actually working on or why is just kind of like, oh, oh, oh. Okay, I'll keep pushing by here. Just be nosy. More thoughtful lip chewing. How do you shore someone up against things like this without ever telling them what's happening or why or what to be ready for?
No. If I knew fully all that, we wouldn't be in the position we were in now, would we?
No, there's... Oh, that makes sense. The face. Just a kind of a wry look.
What I can advise is that you learn to not extend your will towards somebody, but learn to give them an element of the thing you want into themselves.
And you know what though? There's gonna be a moment where it's like, okay, we're gonna up the trust one notch. She just kind of looks over and plainly says, I worry about Daniel.
Mind you worry about Daniel Magnessa?
I mean, of the family, he's probably the easiest one for them to go at. I mean, look what they've done already.
In terms
And
of
he's
manipulation or discredibility?
Discredit.
Well then, this guy just gives that Maeve that look like, well, just staring at you quite blankly, waiting to see if you catch on.
That's the problem. Clearly, you should make sure he can't be discredited. Reinforce his fucking stance.
Well
It's
then, Maeve, it appears you two have a very close connection. Why not do what you do best, Theurge?
Yeah, there's the nod of like, you made me spell it out for myself. I see what you did. Yep. All right.
I will say this. The Sept needs a lion. While we cannot reveal the intricacies of the lion's wife dying, lions grow old, Maeve. When they do, they look for the young to take control of the pride. So, bring out the lion in him. Because I'm sure you've seen it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I have too. He'll be a very good Galliard one day. Not that he is already not now, but I think you know what I mean. I'll put it like this, Maeve. You've seen the way Daniel is when he's on the battlefield.
When he's in his element, he's amazing. It's just the rest of the time.
You are a Macfion, he is a Mach Nessa. You are both old blood. His is older technically than yours. The line, at least.
Not of understanding. She's not going to take offense to facts.
So, be a Fianna.
No?
Like yours, theirs is the line of kings of your tribe. So, it's quite, well, I mean, I don't mean to sound condescendingly simple. Bring him out of it.
Yeah, there's a nod. It's distracted because she's trying to think, how do you. He knows. He already knows. He's been raised, taught all this stuff, but how do you make him feel it? Find a way.
Often, times of great struggle and great strife is when the blood of those with kingship in them comes out. For example, to quote history, in the Kingdom of England, when Henry IV died, there was a great contestant for the throne, and his son, Hal, or Henry as the old tongue goes, was not a very good king. Prince, you could say, whoring, drinking, and often reclusive, aside from that. But then they say that the people around him gave him that it was his duty. They told him what it was. That the time had come to put aside things and do what is right. That man became Henry V. And he led his people in the Battle of Agincourt to win. He came from nothing. Thought he was nothing. Just a prince floundering and lost in the wild. Because people believed that he'd be more and showed him that he was more. I know you do not wish to rule, otherwise I would push you for it. I can tell by the startled look on your face. As much as you have the old blood, you do not have that seed in you, that desire. And that could make a great queen one day. You and Daniel are similar. But remind him of duty. Remind him that the lion needs to be there for his people, much like you need him. And do you need Daniel na Macnessa, Maeve?
It's funny because normally she'd examine that statement a lot more and I mean, normally even, especially from Fiona, who, man, with her judging eyes. But she does.
And why do you need him?
Ooh. Because he's been the face and right at the forefront of some of the best things that have ever happened to me. represents hope. It represents a change for the better. Just thinking about it, because it sounds, it's one of those things where she's saying it and it's true. It rings right for her, but she knows it doesn't sound right on a larger scheme. It's like seeing the dawn after you've been plunged into a place where you thought all you'd ever know is the dark. And we need that, especially when it's darkest.
Well then.
Just a nod.
She does the gesture like then make him believe that.
I will. It's not even a hard ask when I know it's true.
Then Angela comes eventually back in. She's kind of like, all right, I'm coming in now.
Mm-hmm.
I've let you had your little conspiracy talk. I am coming in the door.
Does the whole I'm walking loudly, I'm a fucking coming. You know
Yeah.
I'm coming. Don't be
Oh, yeah.
talking about creepy Guru shit when I get in there.
Like you exchange a few drinks, but you get the impression Fiona's done with her conspiracy meeting for this evening. You got your orders.
Yeah. She'll stay long enough to have like the all right, well we have a drink now, so we're not gonna just fucking ditch, but it's the wind down and then thanking Fiona for her time.
Mm-hmm.
And catching
Yeah, no. Fiona just leaves and you kind of Angela the ref's kind of sitting there for a hot minute.
well, when she goes, it's to find the hand again.
Is everything okay?
Yeah. It'll be okay. How about you?
I'm fine. It's just what's the plan?
The plan is watching, mostly. If
All
you
right.
see anything that seems really out of place, you can let me know, but for the most part now, the plan is to keep going. And after what happened to their family, keep an eye on Fiona and Daniel. Make sure the pressure isn't killing them.
Nod. All right.
We're going to take care of each other and take care of our friends. And Fiona's taking the spearhead on this.
All right. That's good.
Mm-hmm. We got the information of the person who needs to know it the most. We're good. Gives the hand a squeeze because let's face it, in the end, she doesn't want Angela to be any deeper in than that. Looking out for Fiona because she's under a lot of pressure makes sense.
Angela just nods like, okay, that's fine. I can do that.
Mm-hmm. Nothing crazy. You want to stop at Brooks Rest on the way back? Or you just want to go home?
I don't mind going home if I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
I want to get out of here.
All right. Let's go.
Yeah, and should I get out? You know, she just seems uncomfortable by something around here. She just, ugh.
Yeah, once they've gotten up and are, essentially heading out, just the glance over as they do walk through the door. That place give you the Wiggins?
Yeah, I was having a smoke while you guys were chatting, and that twitches her face.
What happened?
Just, it's weird around here.
It's definitely weird, but it's all good stuff. It's all good stuff that we put in ages ago. But it's us. You know? It's there, but it's us.
It didn't sound like you guys.
Curious glance.
I just heard it on the wind, maybe, that's all. I locked the door and everything.
Can I ask what you heard?
A horn.
Oh. I'm not gonna lie, this is when it transitions from the handhold to the pull in and kind of Parker close around the waist type thing. Because mine. It's just an echo from long ago. Can't hurt you.
Just, you know.
Is it just the horn?
It's just a horn, yeah. I just heard it and
Heard it too. It sets up every hair on your body. Kind of like just a little sympathetic, like, ugh.
wasn't close, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just heard it.
Yeah. She's taking a glance back at the building as they go. Oh.
No, I mean, you can't hear anything now. Like I said, O'Brien's Tower seems to be the safe point. You know?
Very potentially one of those things where Angela just stepped out of the door to smoke and it was on the wrong side of the building and regretted it.
Yeah. That's exactly what you pick up, Maeve.
No, she just continues to walk with her, holds her in, reassures her that it's weird, but you're good.
She gives a nod. Would you like to see their butt face?
Yeah, the two of them can head home. And then we'll end it there.
Yeah.
Da-na-na. The end.